It's a very slow move off the coast, and it looks like we're going to see that continue slowly for the next few days as the storm makes its way very, very slowly towards the west across the region. There it is off the coast again. The good news that it has weakened, continued. It did not strengthen back into a Category 4, which just highlights the uncertainty in intensity forecast. If you remember, a couple of days ago, the Hurricane Center had this in this spot, but as a Category 4 hurricane. So we're thankful for that. It's not very well organized, you see on satellite pictures. Winds at 105, though, still a Category 2, and a Category 2 can do a lot of damage, especially a slow-moving one, especially one that has pulled up so much water as a Category 3 or 4, so the storm surge is going to be higher than a Category 2 storm. But there's the track again. Tomorrow morning, still approaching the coast, south coast there. There's Bald Head Island. There's the South Carolina border. Somewhere between anywhere there, a little bit north, a little bit south. Continues moving westward, weakening, though. By Saturday morning, though, could still be a tropical storm approaching Columbia. And then look at this odyssey through East Tennessee up into West Virginia and parts of Pennsylvania. It'll be out of our hair by then, although we may see some lingering showers or storms. This is sort of an outer bands of rain that are coming across the region. There are pockets of heavier rain here and there, but nothing of any wind concern right now. There's a look at First Alert Radar, Doppler radar. This is out of Morehead City, and there's a pretty well-defined center there. Look at the very heavy rain swirling on shore, about 98 miles off the coast at this point. This is a look at Atlantic Beach. Power's still up there, but you see the rough seas out there, and that storm surge easily going to overtake the beaches later on tonight and during the day tomorrow. This is our in-house model of tracking the storm, and you see as we head through this evening, there'll be some showers around here, but the heavy rain really won't get going potentially until sometime tomorrow morning, late tonight, tomorrow morning. On this track, our model keeps the heaviest rain south of the triangle, but the areas that we're most concerned about, again, Cumberland, Sampson counties towards the South Carolina border, extremely heavy rain. There'll be some heavy rain in the triangle. This is tomorrow evening, so it continues into Saturday. This is midday, still heavy rains. Going to be a two-day event with this, with the heavy rain threat. Finally, we get into Sunday, and it begins to move into the upstate of South Carolina, and some of the rain, this is just after midnight, begins to move on out, and we see some improvement as we head into the day on Sunday. The pockets of heaviest rain should go off to the west. So again, it looks like now 3 to 5 potentially near the Virginia border. Some of this could change. We're following basically the National Weather Service on this, with a few tweaks from Steve Stewart and Brittany Bell and I, but overall about the same, 5 to 10 inches in that area between the Sandhills and the Triangle, and the heaviest amounts in all these would be on the southern end. So 10 to 15 potentially around Fayetteville, Sampson County. You get into southern Sampson County, you may be approaching 20 inches. So again, those impacts, the lightest to the north, you get into the Triangle, a moderate impacts with winds that could gust to 45, maybe 50, 6 to 8 inches of rain potentially. You get down here into the parts of the Sandhills over towards Wilson and Tarboro, gusts to 50, could be a elevated impact there. High impacts to life and property potentially threatening with some flash flooding for sure, and then extreme impacts down around Fayetteville and in Sampson County, especially with Goldsboro winds that could gust to about 70 miles per hour, is going to cause potentially widespread power outages. And here we go with that track again, which takes it across South Carolina, just a different view there of it as it moves right over Columbia, up into East Tennessee, and then eventually out of our way, and be good riddance to that by then for sure. Everybody will be ready for it to go. This is a rough estimate of the size. You see, from one cloud end to the other, doesn't include all bad weather in this by any stretch. 560 miles. You can drive from Savannah up to the Virginia border, and it's not even that big of a stretch. So a huge storm size-wise. Flash flood watches up through Saturday. Triangle southward for that excessive rain. There's the tornado watch right now east of us, but that could change. Probably some areas getting under a tornado watch. So let's look at the wind gusts now. This is this evening. Not going to see huge problems. Some gusts up to 40. Here's the center of the storm, and notice we get into tomorrow morning, and those gusts start to get up to 50 miles per hour potentially as we get into tomorrow across the Sandhills, potentially 60, staying around 30 to 40, maybe a gust of 50 in the Triangle. Depends on just how far south it goes, but by far the biggest threat for wind gusts to near 70 is going to be across the Sandhills. miles as that storm slowly moves westward. The tornado impact again is going to stay mainly during the day tomorrow and then lessen as we get into Saturday. High winds, a pretty good bet, especially south. The flooding threat very high as we get to the south as well. This is that storm surge, really 9 to 13 foot storm surge into some of the sounds is going to cause extreme inundation. It's going to be a real disaster potentially with that storm surge across the Outer Banks, and it's just really not a good scenario at all. Even though it's just a Category 2, the storm surge is going to be a bit higher. Amber and Joel, we'll talk more about the storm, of course, in the hours ahead, and our forecast may change a bit. We'll see what the National Hurricane Center says with their 5 o'clock advisory.